First-term Republican Senator Rick Scott from the state of Florida has decided that he doesn't like Mitch McConnell's plan to head into the midterms with no actual agenda for the Republican Party. So even though he's only in his first term, he does happen to chair the, National Republican Senatorial Committee, which is their big fundraising arm for Senate Republicans. So he does have some power. He's got quite a bit of it. And he's decided to kind of use his power a little bit to show that he, in fact, has a better plan than Mitch McConnell. Rather than sitting back and watching Democrats self-destruct, no, Rick Scott says, I have a 31-page plan that I am releasing, and this is going to be our path moving forward. For those who want to adopt it, of course, right? I don't want to step on Mitch McConnell's toes. But that's exactly what he's doing, because this is the power struggle taking place in the United States Senate today among the Republicans. And to be honest, we would all probably be much better off if the Republicans did have no plan, because the thing that Rick Scott has put out there is absolutely horrendous. It would ban any federal application from any mention of race at all. And you may think, okay, well, isn't that a good thing? Don't we want to not consider it? No, we actually need those things to make sure that we have, representative people working in government. You strip that away, I guarantee you we're going to start seeing more and more and more and more old white guys taking over everything, which is, of course, why affirmative action exists in the first place, to prevent things like that. Because, yes, there is bias in hiring. And Rick Scott wants to take us back to that. He also wants to enact legislation on the federal level for national voter IDs, which means that low-income people who may not drive, they clearly don't travel by airplane, they don't need IDs, right? You don't look like you're 12, so you don't need an ID to go down to the store and buy a case of beer, if you can even afford it. There's lots of people in this country, for the record, folks, who do not have IDs and do not have the means with which to get them. And Rick Scott knows that. Republicans know that. That's why they put these laws in place. There's other methods they could use to verify somebody's identity. They just refuse to do it. So that's why they're doing it, because this one actually costs people money and makes them have to take a special trip and all of that they can't do. It also would attack critical race theory, which again is not taught in any school in this country. It would ban transgender athletes, basically going through the gamut of culture war issues for Republicans, codifying into federal law what Republicans are doing state by state across this country, and not enough people are getting pissed off about, as I've already mentioned once in a video this week. And also, it would raise taxes on the poorest Americans. Now, Rick Scott came out I think it was Tuesday evening, and said, no, this thing does not raise taxes on the poorest Americans. That's not in the plan. And then everybody literally pulled up the plan and said, it's right here. It says it right here. To have skin in the game, everybody has to pay at least some income tax. Right now, half of people don't, you said in your plan. And you want everybody to pay. But see, he's not talking about, your super rich people hiding money offshores, not having to pay income tax on that. No, he's talking about the low-income Americans who pay no income tax because they get tax refunds. They get money back, usually what they paid in, sometimes even a little bit more because they need the extra help from the federal government. However, they do still pay that income tax. The income tax does still come out of their check. The government holds on to it for a year, then they get it back, when they file at the beginning of the next year. So yes, they are still paying, Rick. And I hate that talking point that, half the people don't pay taxes. Bullcrap, they do. They just get it all back a year later. Some of them, sometimes. So cut the crap. They're basically loaning the government money. A lot of wealthy folk don't even do that. So however you want to slice it, Rick Scott's plan is absolutely horrendous. It marginalizes even further already marginalized groups of individuals. It tackles things that aren't even problems, but makes it problems for people who want to pretend that those exist. And, as per usual, this multi-millionaire wants poor people to have to pay more money to the federal government.
Thanks for watching, and if you like what you saw, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our Ring of Fire channel here.